It takes a little bit of adjustment to not be so action-oriented, not be so verbally inclined, and be more aware of what you feel, because the way you feel is the true indicator to you. And here's why. Your inner being is a larger part of you than the you that you know as you. Both of those parts of you matter. You will never separate yourself from your inner being. You cannot. When you reemerge in what you call your death experience back into non-physical, there'll be a complete and utter merging. And while you are physically focused in this body, there's a potential that you may be causing some separation, is too strong a word, but you could be pinching off the connection to some degree. And the way you feel is your indicator of how well your marbles are matching the marbles that your inner being is holding on your behalf. Does that make sense to you? Your inner being is always loving. And when you find some reason not to love, there's a mismatch going on. And that's what negative emotion is. And so we know many of you understand this. You've been romping around this planet with us for a while. You know that you have emotions that are your guidance system. We just want to explain why that is. And we also want to really emphasize with you how much your inner being is focused on your behalf, and how easy it is for you to focus on your behalf once you decide this really important thing. You want to calibrate the vibrational frequency of your being to that of your inner being, who has your back, who knows everything about you, who knows why you are here in this body, who knows everything that you've asked for since, who knows that you are the creator of your own reality, and who knows you are worthy of anything that you have decided that you would like to create or experience or enjoy. And so your inner being is always focused upon the furthest most asking that you have become. And while you are in your physical body, there is always a gap between the certainty of your inner being of who you are and you, because we love you so much. You keep basing your certainty, your opinion of who you are, on what is manifested rather than on what's in the vortex. And we want to say to you that there are things in the gestation stage that are in the process of becoming that you cannot yet see or hear or smell or taste or touch. And so often you count them as missing while your inner being counts them as present. And so that's why we like so much Esther's friend's story about closing the loop. When something manifests, it's like you sifted and sorted, you send off rockets of desire, your inner being is aware, they were gathered up, the cooperative components in what we are calling your vortex, in this vibrational reality, in this precursor to everything that you are going to experience. And as they're gathered up, you have a relationship with your inner being's perspective of who you are and your perspective of who you are. So, as you get that, here there are two things that we'll just put right out here. It's an easy way to hear it. First thing, if you just point at what you want and not point in opposition, what you want would come and come and come and come and come and come and come, and it would come fast. Point at what you want, and don't explain nothing to nobody about why you want it. Because it's that explaining, it's that justifying that causes you to activate the marbles that slow it all down. So while we are talking about thoughts turning to things, and they are, you'll hear so much about that while we're on this voyage together. Thoughts turning to things, just like they're supposed to. Thoughts turning to things. As thoughts turn to things and you receive that manifestation, boom, the money's in the bank. Feels good, doesn't it? Or you turn a corner and there that person you've been looking for is, and you know it, and the other one knows it. And so good, so good, so good. Manifestations feel so good. We know they do. When that manifestation happens, playing with Esther's friend, let's call that closing the loop. You ask, you got. Closing the loop. But this story, even though it is a really long one, is not about closing the loop. It's about the new loops that are constantly opening. Because we want you to understand that you're not ever going to get it done. And if you stand in a place where well, I've wanted it, but it hasn't come yet, and you're focused upon the loop that hasn't closed, then you've got a bag of marbles that's focused upon things not yet happening, and then those loops can't close. But if you stay focused, if you will hear us, if you will accept that you never get it done and you can't get it wrong, and that the loops are constantly opening a new one, a new one, a new one. In the past, we called this a new segment with new intentions. It's opening constantly. Every time you ask, a new segment opens, and all kinds of universal forces go to work on your behalf. And what we want you to begin immediately having fun with is enjoying your conscious awareness of things that it hasn't quite manifested yet, but there are all kinds of clues that are in the vibrational ethers. You get what we're talking about? It's coming to be, but you're not clueless because you have emotions, you have feelings, you have awareness. So, we're talking with Esther the other day because she really likes the pointing game. She made a game for herself. She writes arrows and writes in the arrows. I'm pointing at this, and I'm pointing at this, and I'm pointing at this, and I'm pointing at this. She's become an obnoxious pointer, really. She's pointing. And we said to her, it is an easy thing. We like how good you're getting at pointing. We like how you're pointing at what you want. You're pointing at fresh air and beautiful planet and lovely experiences and. We'd like that. We'd like that you're pointing. But you know, since you're human, here in an environment with so many others, sometimes you observe something that makes you uncomfortable. You have awarenesses that make you uncomfortable. And maybe you're doing it too, but Esther has been feeling sort of guilty about every thought she thinks not being a pure positive thought. Like she shouldn't have an awareness about something, that she shouldn't have an opinion about something, that she shouldn't be alive in the world, noticing some of what she doesn't want. And that is never what we have taught her or implied. It is normal. This is the sifting and the sorting that helps you to define who you are and what you want. And then we said something that was meaningful and helpful to Esther. She felt it as she heard it from us. Don't feel bad about being aware of things that bother you. It's all right to have an opinion. Didn't like that because you choose otherwise, and wish it wasn't like that because you choose otherwise, and they could be doing a better job of that. You wish it were otherwise. That's fine to have an opinion. But in the middle of that opinion, if it's causing you discomfort, and it was for Esther, we said, just say, well, now what? Turn the opinion to an intention. Turn the opinion to, so now what is it that I'm choosing? Because in the moment that you let the contrast, this is how you're sifting and sorting. This is how contrast is helping you. You're supposed to not like stuff so that you can define what you do like, and you're not supposed to be mad at yourself for not liking stuff. But if you could give up that opinion, oh, it goes deeper, friends. If you could give up that I'm right, I know I'm right. And instead of needing or wanting to be right in your well-founded opinion that you have gathered, if instead you would say, now what? Opening another loop. Now what? What do I prefer now? What do I prefer now? From where I now stand and who I now am and what I've now experienced, now what? So that's what we want to chew with you all. Some of what we want to chew with you all about as we were moving forward. We want you to live happily ever after like you intended. And we want the new experiences that you're having to be life-giving and interesting to you. And we want you to recognize the adventure of this life experience. You've not come here to be tested or to challenge yourself in hard and uncomfortable and awkward ways. You come here to define, to look around, to decide for yourself, to put the vibration out there because you have found the feeling place of it, not the words and not the opposition words of knowing what you don't want. Jerry and Esther were sitting on a porch one day in Texas, long, hot summer. Everything was dry and cracked. And Esther said, Abraham, we want some rain. And we said, why do you want the rain? And Esther said, well, the ground is so cracked and the bunnies are desperate and so are the deer and the trees are all drooping and it's really, really hot and the trees are dusty. And we interrupted her when she settled down for a minute. We said, we didn't ask you why you don't like drought. We asked you, why do you want the rain? What is the feeling of the rain? This is the law of attraction, not the law of explaining and justifying and wrestling things to the ground and killing it. This is the law of attraction. This is the law of attraction. You've got to feel what you want or you're not a match to what's coming to you. And if life doesn't feel good to you, you got to find a way of shifting that. Flick it off like the spark before it burns a hole in your sweater. Flick it off. Flick it off. And then ask, now what? Get your intention focused as quick as you can. We are eager about these days together. We are eager about the vibrational shifting that is certain to happen within you. We are eager about your bag of marbles becoming more what you prefer and less of what you're observing. We know for sure who you are. We know where you are in relationship to everything that you desire, because you have presented a vivid vibrational request to your inner being and therefore to all of us. And so we know about that gap between where you are and where you want to be. And we'll help you as we move forward one by one by one by one. Everyone will not sit in the hot seat, but it is our promise to you that those who do will help you to clarify what it is you're looking for. This is not hard at all to understand once you begin to get the hang of this. You get what you are thinking about. Here's a good run for you. How you feel is how you feel. How you feel is how you feel. And how you feel is what you get. And what you get is kind of sort of how you feel, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to just keep getting it and then feeling. But that is why the better it gets, the better it gets, or the worse it gets, the worse it gets, because most people are offering most of their vibrational output based upon what they are observing. And while some of that is good because it helps you ask, don't make a career out of the step one part of the equation. Ask and then soothe yourself in whatever way you can. So now you know, in general terms, everything that we know.